So there's just tons and tons of acres going in the Willamette Valley into hazelnuts. And it's a lot of land that was previously growing mostly grass seed crops, some winter wheat. And I just think there's this real opportunity to transition to not only a perennially based agricultural system, but also one that encourages and fosters biodiversity. And I worry that the way that we're transitioning to hazelnut production is really focused on maintaining a clean field and getting rid of any competition and getting the understory down to nothing growing, basically. Yeah, hazelnuts have, because they're a tree crop and a perennial crop, have a big potential to sequester a lot of carbon, but they can only really do that in a healthy, functioning soil. And a healthy, functioning soil needs more than one type of plant growing in it. And so any way we can find to increase the biodiversity within our orchard ecosystems, I think is going to be a win-win all around. Basically, the life cycle of the moth is that right now they're flying around, they're laying eggs. Those eggs are going to hatch, the little worms are going to crawl out of the eggs, and they're going to burrow their way into a developing nut. So right now, the nuts have a relatively soft shell because they're just developing. And so the worms are able to drill in, and then they spend their worm life eating the developing hazelnut and pooping in the shell. And then that nut will fall, and then the worm will crawl out before wintertime, burrow itself into the soil, overwinter, and then do it all again next, late spring, early summer. And so, you can, any point along the Filbert Moth / worm's life cycle, you can look to interrupt it. So the pesticide application is you wait for the moths to lay their eggs. So that's what I'm monitoring for. It's like, when is the peak mating flight? You time it, you spray, it kills all the developing little eggs, and so those worms never hatch and then go into your nuts. But you can also interrupt the life cycle when the worm is on the floor. So people will come through flail mow directly after harvest and then early in the spring in hopes of grinding up some of the pest pressure. What we'll do at our place is actually we'll run our hogs through the orchard right after harvest so that we make sure that we don't have any leftover nuts and worms and whatnot. Another big pest control or a big predator of the Filbert moth are bats. So the moths are most active during the nighttime. They're up in the top third canopy of the tree, and bats can really do a number on them. So encouraging bat habitat in and around your orchards can also be beneficial. So it's just kind of about trying to keep the population as low as you can, because the more breeding adults there are this time of year, the more worms you're going to have in your nuts. So it's just about finding ways to control them. A couple years back, some organic growers in the area got together and we formed a growers cooperative called the Organic Hazelnut Cooperative. We brought a lot of the best minds thinking about this stuff together under one roof, and we're facilitating conversations and knowledge sharing and sharing practices, and just really trying to get to the bottom of what works. And so we are trying to find models that are going to help us increase our biodiversity, are going to help us pump more carbon into the soil, and are going to help us create a more financially sound business, especially if you're looking to eliminate the need for pesticide applications.